Introduction to Digital Video Editing in Adobe Premiere CC 2014. Today we would be learning about various techniques, how to edit in video, why do we need to edit in video, what is the utility of editing in video through different tools which is provided by Adobe Premiere Pro. And along with that we would be also learning the concepts, the basics of video editing, like frame size, frames per second, what exactly a video consists of, audio, different kind of audios, different kind of videos. So we would be dealing with all these topics today. Now let me tell you what is exactly a video. A video is nothing but it is a sequence of images which put in together into a timeline will provide a video. Like you can say different images together along accordingly or collectively in a timeline will produce a video. For example, if you see FPS, what is an FPS? FPS. FPS means frames per second. FPS means frames per second. For an example, there are different frames in which a video consists. For example, there can be a video which has 24 FPS, which means the video consists of 24 images in 1 second. So if you see an entire video consisting of n number of minutes will have 24 images or 24 different types of images in 1 second, which is collectively known as an entire sequence. There might be also be videos which would be on a frame rate of 30 FPS, which means 30 images in 1 second. Now there also might be a video which would have 29 FPS, which again means it would have 29 images in 1 second, which when run together would create a video. 29 images, different images would create a 1 second video. Now coming to frame size. What is actually a frame size? Frame size is nothing but it is a resolution of any video. Like for example, when we say an image can be of say around with a dimension of 900 by 500 pixels. So in the same manner, video also has a frame size. So if you see, generally the frame size, the standard frame sizes are something like 640 into 360. Then coming to higher version that can be of 1280 into 720, which is also known as half HD. Half HD. Now coming to the higher version of this is 1920 into 1080, which is full HD. And you must note that these 640 into 360, 1280 into 720 and 1920 into 1080 are, you can say, 1920 into 1080 pixels, or it is also known as P. There are other frame sizes also which are also used, that is 960 into 540, then it's 480 into 320. So these are the different frame sizes in which one can create a video and edit a video. Now coming to pixel aspect ratio. Pixel aspect ratio are generally in standard they are of two sizes. One is this size, which is also known as 4:3 pixel aspect ratio. This, if you notice, is generally a ratio which is something square and is not a white screen. So it depends again upon your use, like what kind of video you want to create, where do you want to publish, is it for commercial purpose or is it for an upload online? It depends where do you want to, what do you want to use in it. Now coming to the second aspect ratio, that would be something like this. This is a 16:9 pixel aspect ratio. Please note this is white screen and this is not a rectangle. So basically you have two kinds of pixel aspect ratios. One is 4:3 and one is 16:9. And as I already mentioned earlier, it again depends on what kind of videos you want to create and what is the main purpose of the video. Where is the video gonna be finally published or uploaded or showcased. So right now what we have seen is FPS, frames per second, frame size, and pixel aspect ratio. Now we would see what is a scan line. A scan line is basically for a video which is to be telecasted for broadcasting purpose. And there are basically two kinds of scan lines. One is upper and the other is lower. These are also known as fields in Premiere. We will see that later. So basically, if you see, these upper and lower fields are only used when suppose a video has to be broadcasted into some channel or into some television for television purpose, where there are like a kind of news channel or maybe an advertisement which is only for broadcasting purposes. Then this kind of fields are used. Now we would also come to another very important part of a video, which is audio. And audio is very important and it also plays a very major role in a video. And audio can be of different bit rates. It can be of say around, for example, an audio can be of say 48 kilohertz, and it can be of various types like of channels. Various it can have various different channel types. Like it can be a stereo, which would have two channels. One would be left and the other would be right. It can have it can also be of mono channel, which would have only a single channel, and it can also be a multi-channel, which would have around 5.1, or yeah, it would have a 5.1 channel. So basically what these means is stereo two channels. So it would have the audio information on the left channel as well as on the right channel. Mono, it means only one channel, so it would have only the information of the data of the audio only on one channel. Now coming to multi, it would have data of the audio for 5.1 channel. So generally if you see, there are 5.1 home surround system and 5.1 digital speakers. So basically what these means, that these, if you install those setups or if you install those speakers, they would give you 5.1 surround, the audio in 5.1 surround system. So these would differently act as a different layers of five channels. So this is what the general very kind of a quick brief to the basic of the video editing. Now this is the welcome screen of Adobe Premiere Pro CC 2015. It's the latest version. So this is the welcome screen, and now we would go on new and then we would click on project. It basically creates a new project. You can say here, we can give any name we want. I would put this as edit_01, and this can be the location. It generally means the location where you want these project files of Premiere to be saved. So right now the location which has been provided in default. I don't want this to be saved here. So what I would do is I would go to browse, I would go to my desktop, I have a folder, and I would click here. Yeah, I would like to save my I would like to save my project file of Premiere here, and then I would click on select folder. So if you come to this, these are the general settings: video rendering and playback. This is the renderer. This can stay as it is. This is the video display format. It means time code, and this is feet plus frames. It generally time code means generally it would generally be in the format of HHMMSSFF, which means hours, minutes, seconds, frames. This would only means frames, and this is again a kind of frame which would only deal with frames and no timings. For these both, this would also display as these both would also display the time as well as along with the frames. Yeah, so if you see, basically this is a video display format. Like this would be the time code which want you to show the format, or rather which like it basically means which kind of format do you want to see of your timeline. It is basically the timeline thing, and it's a time code which would mean in hours, minutes, and seconds. This is again coming to this is feet plus frames 16 mm. These and feet plus frames 35 mm. Generally we would generally if you see, these both are not so much user friendly, as generally we edit all our videos either in time code and frames. Now it again depends upon your customization, what kind of, like I would prefer this in time code because this is very convenient for the user to edit and it is very user friendly. Now this is the display format for audio samples. Let it be as it is. We are not changing any settings here. Yeah, this is capture format. This is DV and HDV. So this is basically if you are capturing any video from any outside source, capturing like through a capture card which would capture a video, and you are doing an online editing. So this can stay as it is, as we are not doing any kind of online capturing. And coming to the scratch disk, it can also remain the same. It depends again what kind of hard disk you have, like how much is the free space available on your hard disk, so you can allocate that. And suppose right now I'm using my same C drive. If you don't want, you can just randomly select any like C or D or something, anything which you want. And now we would click on OK. So these are the different windows and different panels which Premiere is providing us. So we would quickly see each of them one by one. So starting with this is our project window. This is generally a very important place where all our medias are, all our video files, all our audio files along with images, additional text which will be created, can all be inserted or imported or created here. So let us look. It says import media to start. There are basically two ways how you can import your media. Now what I'll be showing you is importing a video clip to our project. So you need to go to file and then you need to go to import. So I would import a video, like this would be my video which I would like to import. Select the location and then you can go to, and then you can click on open. Importing file, import file. So our video has been imported here. It says Portland, Oregon, aerial drone and motion time lapse. So this is basically my name of the video. And right now if I want to see dimensions, or rather the frame size, I just need to hover my mouse over and it says movie 1280 into 720p with 1.0 square pixels. So it basically means it is a half HD footage, as I already showed you, or rather as I already told you, it is a 1280 720p half HD. One cool feature which Premiere Pro CC 2015 has initiated is, or rather introduced, is once you go here, once you do not need to click, you just take your mouse over here and you can you need not even scroll it, you just need to take it from left to right and you can have an entire glimpse of the video. So this is my end and I'm going through the entire video like this. So this is a very cool thing which Premiere has installed or introduced. Now coming to this is my media browser. This is rather a root kind of thing which I can access from here or anything. C drive, it basically shows the entire hard disk and its contents. This is libraries, like if you want to, then we need to install the Creative Cloud, then it can be activated. This is info, and these are the different panels like effects, markers and history. What we would do here is we would click on effects to get the effects panel. So these are the various kind of default effects which Premiere is providing. Now coming to this is our tools panel, through which we can start editing our videos. This is our timeline panel, where the media which we had imported has to be drop in here. It says drop media here to create sequence. And one more thing I would like, which I've just kept, was for importing a file we need to click on file and click on import. There is one more way, or rather a shortcut, which you can, on a Windows system it would be Control and click on I. It would open this dialog box. You can click Control I from your keyboard, and if you have a Mac machine, Apple Macintosh system, you can click on Command I, and then you can import any of the videos which you want in your project. So this is my tools panel. This is my timeline where all of my footages will be imported, all of my audios as well as other elements would be brought in for edit. This is my audio panel. When audio would be inserted, the bars would be shown here and it would animate accordingly to the audio frequency. This is my program, or rather it is also known as program monitor. This screen would basically show the final edit which is there in our timeline. The video which is placed here, or which it would run here, would play here in the program monitor. Now just clicking here, I just double clicked here. So this is my source window. I can just hit space bar to play the window on the source window. Note, this video is being played from the video which has been imported in our project panel. I'll just hit space bar. Now you can see these audio bars are also showing according to the audio frequency. This is the time which it is showing. Yeah, so this entire footage is of around 2 hours 13 minutes, and right now coming to this is the time. We can just click anywhere we want to. This source window is basically like what kind or from what timing we would like to import our video to the timeline, rather than importing the entire footage, say of around 30 minutes or 15 minutes. So we can just choose here, we can just select our timing here, and then we can take this to our timeline. So yeah, we would do that. And here this is fit. Right now this one is showing us fit 10%. These are the different kinds of views which you would like to have, 50%, 75%. So we would rather be on fit, which shows the entire actual video. This is drag video only, drag audio only, and this is for suppose if you only want to drag video, then it would only drag the video to your timeline and not the audio. And this goes vice versa. This would only drag the audio and not the video. Yeah, so now let's start with editing and inserting our video on the timeline. So what we need to do is, right now it does not show any media to create sequence or something. What we would do is, first we would see the properties of this footage. We would right click here and go to properties, click here. So it basically shows the file path, and then it shows the name of the video. This shows the type MPG movie, which is a MP4 movie, which is used across internet and for a streamable purpose, and it is a very common kind of file format which is used these days. It also shows the file size with 45.16 MB with its frame or image size, that is 1280 into 720. Please note this 1280 into 720 is 1220 to 720 pixels, and the frame rate is 29.97. Source audio format is 44,100 hertz. Compressed the and the video audio channel is stereo, and its total duration is 2 minutes 13 seconds and 25 frames with pixel aspect ratio of 1:1.0. So now what we will do is, depending on our audio footage as of video footage as of now, I would like to create my sequence of the uh, same frame size and frame rate, and the same frame size and the same frame rate. So okay, I'll cancel here, and then what we can do is we can go to file, go to new, and then click sequence. Yeah, so this opens a new sequence settings which would be there on our timeline. So starting with these are the available presets which are provided by Premiere. The first is ARRI. It has different kind of presets, say for example 1080p with 23.976. So what 1080p exactly means here is the frame size as I had shown earlier. So this is for editing and HD monitoring with 2K files. 2K files are something for around 2048 pixels, but what it does is it would edit the same on a 1920 resolution, which is a full resolution, full HD resolution. And this is the aspect ratio 16.9 widescreen. This is the progressive scan. Yeah, progressive scan is something which is a kind of scan which is not for any kind of broadcasting or for television purpose. It is basically a progressive scan which is offline, and progressive scan are also used for videos which are to be uploaded on the internet. So what we would do is we would basically keep our project sequence as progressive, as we do not intend to publish or upload this video on any kind of broadcasting purpose. The video frame rate is 23.976 frames per second, 48 kilohertz, 16-bit audio. So these are same, yeah, pixel aspect ratio, fields, no fields, progressive scan, no fields. As I said, no fields progressive scan would mean that this video is not going to be broadcasted, and it is for online, or it is for offline purpose, and it can be uploaded online. So these are the various presets. This is for something especially for photographers, which is for their purposes, like Canon has their own presets. The time base or frame rate would be 25 fps, which means 25 frames per second. The frame size would be 19,080. Frame rate would be 25 frames per second. Pixel aspect ratio is 1.0, and This fields, please note, the fields over here is upper fields, which means if we select this, our final video, our purpose of video would be for broadcasting and not for uploading it or publishing it online or for our own purpose viewing. This is again SLR with 1080, then there is 480, 720p, 480, 640 into 480, and this is DV24p, standard 32 kilohertz, standard 48 kilohertz. Please note this is 24p. It means around 24 FPS, and this would be a 4:3 frame aspect ratio and not a 16:9 pixel aspect ratio. And if you see this standard NTSC frame aspect ratio, now what is NTSC, or rather what what do you mean in terms of NTSC? If you have seen, you must have also find this similar term in your TV channels which were used earlier. Maybe not in today's time, but earlier there used to be NTSC and PAL. So NTSC is, or rather it stands for National Television Standard Committee. You can say this is a kind of format which is used in different countries, say like for something not in Asia or something outside Asia, this NTSC is followed, and this is again and mainly for broadcasting purpose. There is one more format which is known as PAL. This stands for phase alternating system. This is again for broadcasting purpose, and it is used in Asian countries. So it again depends like what kind of video or for what purpose we would like to create the video. So I hope these both standard formats for broadcasting are clear to you. Back to Premiere, these both are for standard purpose with 4:3. The moment you come to widescreen, it becomes widescreen NTSC frame aspect ratio 16:9, which means it's a aspect ratio with 16:9 widescreen. And this is again DV NTSC, as I said, DV PAL, which stands for phase alternating line. The frame size here is 720 into 576 pixels. Frame rate is 25 FPS. Pixel aspect ratio is 1.0940. DV PAL, and as I said, it is for broadcasting purpose. It is low field first, and this is again for 16:9 widescreen DV PAL. Other is DVC Pro 480i. This stands for something with Panasonic camcorder. The time base is 23.976 with video settings of 720 into 480. So now this is for HDV. So what we would basically do is, as our footage which is imported is of 1280 into 720 with 29.97 aspect ratio, 29.97 FPS. So I'll quickly create a new sequence with HDV 1280 into 720 25p. So now what here, if you have noticed, is this frame rate is 25 FPS. The frame size is 1280 720. That is pretty cool. But now coming to this frame rate, this is 25 FPS. But the issue is my original footage is of 29.97 frame rate FPS. So I'm not getting the desired frame FPS. So now coming to this also, yeah, over here it is 1280 into 720 with frame rate of 29.97 FPS. Pixel aspect ratio is square pixels and no fields. It is a progressive scan, which basically means it won't go for broadcasting. And apart from this, we would stick to this as of now. These are for different mobile formats which you can also create your timeline or sequence according to your, these are for different camera, red cameras, 1080p, 1K, 2K, 3K, 4K, different kinds of, for different kinds of timelines for different kind of cameras or different kinds of edits you want to make. There's 2K, there is 3K, there is 4.5K, 4K, 1080p with XT-Cam, HD422. So these are the different kind of presets which Premiere is providing, starting from Canon, then this red camera, Panasonic, etc. So now we would do is like quickly select this. We want HTV 720p with 30 29.97 fp frames per second. I would name this sequence as basic hyphen edit. Then I would click on settings here. Now our editing mode is HD 720p. Now suppose if we want to change our FPS, say we want to make it 25. So please note, if we select here the 25 FPS, the video would remain as it is, but our timeline would run on 25 FPS. So it would play 25 frames per second, but our video is of 23 frames per second. So this is ideally not a good practice. It should be match with your original time of the footage. Again, here these are the different presets which were here, so you can select any if you want. Apart this, if you want to create your own preset, say like if you want, like whenever you want, you do not need to select all the settings and all, you just click there and it will be a predefined setting according to the user. So you click on custom here, okay, and maybe you can have a time base of 25 fps. I would like my frame size 1280 into 720 with 16:9 aspect ratio. Yeah, square pixels, no fields, as it's not gonna go for broadcasting. These settings remain the same. These are the different kind of settings, which for audio 44,100, 48,000, 48,200. Yeah, this looks pretty cool, and this is a standard one, 48,000, so I would stick here. These options are generally for your video previews on your program monitor. So yeah, these remains the same, and we would click on save preset. I would like to name this preset as half HD, as it is with a resolution of 1280 into 720 pixels, and would name it as half HD 25 fps. Yeah, so if you see here, these were the different kind of presets which were provided, and now under custom I have this my own preset, half HD 25 fps. If you see the description of the preset here, it's editing mode custom, time based 25 fps, as we had selected 25 frames per second. This is 1280 into 720. The frame size, the pixel aspect remains to square pixels, and the field is no fields, progressive scan. It is not for broadcasting. But right now I would like to go for HTV 720p with 30 or 29.97 fps. So all these settings are fine, and now I would click on, my sequence name would be basic edit, and I would click on OK. Clicking on the create sequence, now this user interface again open, and what do we see here is our footage, the video footage which we had imported earlier, and this is the basic edit, which means this is the timeline which has been created, and it has been created in our project window. You can toggle here also to zoom it. Somehow I do not like the entire customization of the user interface, so I would like to customize it according to my choice. So what I would do is I would like to have project window over here. So this is my project window. I would also like to have my FX window along clubbed with hill. So what I'm doing basically is I'm just dragging it over here. Just click here and you can just, I do not want my media browser here. So what I'll do is, I don't want this panel only. So what I'll do is close panel. It disappears. Then again go to libraries. Again, I do not want this. So click on this button and click on close panel. In info, yeah, info I would want it. So what I would do is I would take this info, left click here and then release it here once it shows the blue screen. Markers I do not want, I would click on close panel. History again I do not want, I would click on close panel. So yeah, this is basically my project window, and this is my FX panel, this is my info panel, this is my project panel, this is my source panel. Please note right now our mode of editing is editing, and as I had changed this customization, as I had customized this user interface, what if I would like whenever Premiere opens, I would like to have the same user interface. So as we have seen, this was in our editing mode. What I would do to, in order to save this customization is I would click here, you can see these 3 lines, and I would click here on save as new workspace, because I do not want my editing mode to have these changes, or I do not want to change the default editing mode which has been provided by Premiere. I want this to be totally a new workspace. So I would click on save as new workspace, and I would rename this to my workspace 01, and I would click on OK or hit enter. So now if you see this kind of new workspace has been created. So my new workspace has been created. Now in order to import the footage into our timeline, we need to double click here on our, so this would appear on our source panel, and right now we'll be playing this video. I want my video exactly. For zooming in here, we need to press the plus sign, not from our numlock but from our normal keypad. So what I'll do is I exactly want from this frame along with the music, so that there is no jerk, and it should be very clean and neat. And this is our starting clip, and right now I want this from this clip because I do not want the starting. So right now I would be going to this frame. You can go to the previous frame by pressing left arrow like this, and you can go to the next frame by clicking on pressing the right arrow. So my exact timing would be 11 seconds and 13 frames. So there are 2 ways of selecting the beginning point of your video. One is by clicking here, mark in, it says the in mark, or a shortcut for this is I stands for Italy. I just pressed I here, and now I would continue the video, and I would look for my out point where I want to end the video. Yeah, so I do not basically want this So I would like to end my video after this frame itself. I don't want this frame. Yeah. So the timing is 34. You can click here, mark out. It means the out mark where you want your video to be inserted in the timeline, or the shortcut word for this would be O. I would be clicking here, and right now, yeah, as I said, by doing plus or minus, you can zoom in or zoom out. So this is out of the entire video clip. This is the end. This is the only portion which we want to be inserted on our timeline right at this moment, as I do not want these to be inserted. Yeah, so just if I want to confirm with my footage, like the in point and the out point, what we can do is, if you're in the middle, so you can click here, go to in, or you can shift and press I from your keyboard. So what this would basically do, it would take you to your endpoint. Shift I and I just pressed, and I would play the video. Yeah, so this is cool, and I just saved my project. What now I want to do is like insert this into my timeline. So I would click here, it says insert, and click here. So if you noticed, this video has come into your timeline, and now it would play. Now the video would play on your program monitor and not on your source monitor, because the videos or the footage, any kind of element, audio, images, videos placed on the timeline would play on your program monitor. If you see, even the audio bars are also animating. I would just like to show you the audio of this. What I would do is go here, wait for this cursor to come, or you can select in between these and just left click on your mouse and just drag this so that you can see your audio channels. And in order to zoom in, you can select your scrubber to this, and you can, this is your timeline. And please note, this timeline is the same one which we had created with 1280 into 720 pixels, 1280 pixels and 720 pixels with frame rate of 29.97 fps and with progressive scan. Again, I would save my project. Now what I would do is I would just quickly go through the footage, and now just after this shot I would like a video from some another clip to be imported or to be dragged into my timeline. So now I would go to my project panel, and I would right click here, import. The same thing I can do from here, file, import, or the shortcut key for this is Command I or Windows Mac on Macintosh, and for Macintosh it's Command I, and for Windows it's Control I. I would just do that. And as we had imported this video, so at this moment I would like to import this video as well. I select this and I click on open. This is, let this confirm, because it imports the audio bars or the audio channel or the audio data as well. And then you can just quickly go through your video. Yeah, the video has been imported. Now what I will do is I want this video to be played on my source monitor. So now I would quickly double click on this and I would play the footage. The video looks fine and even the audio looks pretty cool. I would just quickly go to the properties of the video. The video is again 1280-720 with the frame rate of 29.97. So yeah, it's pretty cool and it's matching according to our settings of the timeline or the sequence which we have created. I would just save this once more. Yeah, so this is our footage which has been imported to Premiere. I'll just look for some best shots which can be inserted here. Say I would like my video to start from here. I just pressed I. Yeah. So before this goes on to another shot and it gets cross dissolve, I would like to end my video here. So I would press O or I would click here. Now the catch here is I do not want the audio which is being played in the video to be inserted here. So what I would do is I want only want the video to be imported into my timeline. So I would click here, drag video only, and would take this and would place it here. Yeah. So now if I play the video, this is the previous video. The audio is the same of the previous video. And now we see the video has been merged, but there is no video. Sorry, no audio. So there is no audio in our recent footage imported. By pressing minus, I can zoom out, and by pressing plus, I can zoom in on my timeline, program monitor, as well as on my source monitor. Or I can also scrub through here, through my timeline as well. I can click here to zoom out, and I can drag this to my left to zoom in. I hope this is clear. So there is no audio in this, and what I would like to do is I do not want to show this entire thing of trees for such a long time. So what I'll do is when it gets totally dissolved, 100% dissolved, I would like to jump, like I would like to cut this from here, from this portion that is 3206 till this portion 37. So basically I don't want these 5 minutes. So I don't want those 5 minutes to be inserted there, to be inserted in the timeline. And so before I take you to the tools, I would like to give you a overview of the options present on our starting with our project panel. So this is switch to the current view to the list view. This would, if you click here, this would not show the thumbnails and this would only show in a list view. Let's click here back again. This is the list view and this is the icon view. It shows the thumbnail, list, icon. This is for zoom out. Suppose in order we have zoomed in, so this goes to zoom out. What if I go into the list view? This is the list view, this is the icon view. I don't want this to be so much zoomed in, so I would click here, zoom out. Yeah, this looks pretty fine. This is zoom in. We can also scrub it through here according to our preference. And this is sort icons. This is like how you want your icons to be according to the media type, label, name, video codec, field order, use, list view, sort. So yeah, this looks fine. Automated into sequence. This is basically like when you want an entire video footage into your sequence, like entire footage of video, it would break it into sequence. And this is find. This is a very important tool. Suppose you know something like when you have chunks of your footages, very many footages, or say you can have, when you have around 50 videos and you need to edit this is a very helpful tool. Say for suppose I want a video named as suppose this video, the aerial beauty. So what I would do is I would click here, or I would press Ctrl F and find what it says. Yeah, so as I said, this is a very important tool. I would like to show this. This is the find option. The shortcut is Ctrl F. I would like to go to name. So what would it, if I press this name, so what it will do is it will quickly show me the names. Like suppose if I don't remember and there are entire many footages here, so it would say suppose I know there is a footage in my bin which is in my project which starts from Portland. So what I would do is I would type Portland and it would say operator, yeah, it contains this, and find what Portland, and I will click on find. Yeah, so this option shows us exactly where our it highlights the video or the media which we want to search. And in order to do this, we need to click on name and then here operator, we need to find what the words which we remember. Suppose even if I press Orega, let's see what happens. Yeah, it is again reflecting this. Suppose what if I type aerial, as there is also a footage in my project which is the aerial beauty, this one. So it would again highlight this footage. And please make sure this column is the second one is also name and the operator is contains, because this is a media type from which we want to search through the name. So it should be name. The column should be name in order, and then only it will fetch us the result. And it should be contains. And yeah, so this is one option of find. Coming to this is again a very important feature in project which help us to organize our videos and medias imported in our project. It is basically nothing but it is a bin, or rather it is a folder which would organize our medias accordingly. So I would click here and it asks to rename. you can also rename this bin or a folder. So I would rename this to edit, or rather a content edit 01, and hit enter. Or you can also click outside. So once if I go here, it opens this bin. So right now there is nothing, it shows 0 items. So this bin has been opened with the name of content edit 01 as we had renamed this. So right now there is nothing in this bin. So what I would like to do is I would take these footages. I would take these footages by coming on the project panel, selecting this, and by pressing Control on Windows or Command on Macintosh. So you can just quickly select them, and from your left click of the mouse, you can just drag and drop it here. So what we see now is the bin with the name of content edit 01 now has two videos which we had imported directly on our project panel and not inside any bin, but ideally it should be created in our bin. So now suppose if we want to create multi bins here, so as this is my content edit 01, I would like to create one new bin again. So I would click here new bin. So this is again a sub bin inside our bin of content edit 01. I would like to name this as video. Would select these both and would again drag and drop inside this. So these both now have my videos. I cancel this. Again, I want to create another bin of audio, and later we can import an audio here itself. So what this basically does is like it keeps our work, it keeps our edit pretty much organized. When we want our files to be called, it can be easily called and it can be easily worked on. I would again save my project. Make sure you have this habit of saving your project in around 10 to 15 minutes of an interval. Yeah, so we are over with this project panel. Now coming back to the source panel. This, if you see, this is the time, this is the fit window. These are the different kind of windows which you want to see. I would suggest fit is the best one. We had already seen this. This is only for drag video only, and this is only for drag audio only. What if I click here? If I click here, it would only show me the audio. If only audio needs to be imported to our timeline. So it is playing the audio. Right now I don't want only audio. I want the video as well as the audio. Coming to this is the playback resolution. Right now it is playing in half resolution. It depends again upon your system configuration. How much RAM is it? Does it have a graphic card? So right now I would like to keep this as full. This is the settings of our source monitor. This is composite gang source and program. Right now this is composite video. If I click on audio waveform, it will only show me the audio waveform. And this is a channel which is known as alpha channel. It contains transparency. This video is fully opaque, so there is no transparency as well. So we would stick back to composite video. It's the same playback resolution as it is here, full. This is the pause resolution, like once the video is paused, what kind of resolution would you like to have? So it's better if you have this half. Please note this is the playback resolution, which once the video is played would show this, and this is the pause resolution. Once the video is paused, it would drop down to half. This is loop if you want the video to be looped again. So if you see this, once the video reaches to the endpoint, it would again go back to the loop from the starting to our endpoint. So I don't want that, so I would remove the loop. This is the show transport controls. So transport generally means the scrubber. If you want to zoom in or zoom out or something like that. Show audio time units. We don't want that at right now. Show markers. These are basically our markers, the in point and the out point. Different options which we do not want at our source monitor, like safe margins, we do not want it here. So it again depends upon your preference. If you want, you can have it overlays, then overlay settings. So these are not required at this, because source monitor is only required like when we are importing any footage from our project, and we want that video, or that in and out, the video with in and out marked specific video into our timeline. So yeah, this is the end time, like how much long is your footage. So what I would now show is the different options available in our source monitor. This is mark-in. Sorry, I do not want my mark-in to be changed, as I'd already marked this in. This is our mark out, and this is our go to shift in, go to shift out. This is step back one frame. As I said, if you want to step back one frame, you can also play with your you can press the left arrow of your keyboard like this, as I'm pressing right now, or you can also click. This is the play button, which also it is a toggle button, which means it can be played and can be paused, and the same thing can be done with the help of our spacebar on the keyboard. This is the next frame, can again be controlled with the right arrow of the keyboard. This is shift out, and we have all seen this. This is the insert. Like once if you click on insert, it comes to our timeline. And now suppose if I don't want this, so what I'll do is I'll select this and I'll hit delete or del button. Another way of removing this from your timeline would be enable. So what this does is, like, the video and along with the audio stays here, but it is enabled. Sorry, it is disabled, as we have already checked off on enable. So again, if I enable it from here, the video comes again. The other thing would be cut. Yeah, so it again cuts. If you want to be pasted over here on a different time, you can paste it here. So our video is pasted, and if you want it totally to be removed, then you can just select like this, or you can just select like this, and then can click on delete, or you can press delete from your spacebar. This is add markers. If you want to add any marker here for your preference, like suppose if you would like to start your video from here, so you can start add marker here. So if you see, a green kind of marker has come here, and again the shortcut for that would be pressing M on your keyboard. I would just press M here without going from here. I just pressed M here and a marker has been created. So if I double click on this marker, I can also add a label to it. Like I can write this as house, and can change its color also, and can click on OK. So if you notice here, the change color has been reflecting here, and it has changed to house. So this customization becomes pretty easy for the user while editing the video. Another point would be, suppose this is a frame, but I want to extract this image out from the video. This is a very pretty cool technique, like for the users who do not know how to export a image out of a single image out of a video. So we can click here and then can click here, export frame. So what this feature would do is, it would only export this particular frame into an image. I would name this as screenshot 1. These are the different formats which Premiere is providing. BMP, which means bitmap, DPX, GIF, JPG, PNG, Targa, TIFF. So the standard one is JPEG, which stands for Joint Photographers.
stands for Joint Photographic Experts Group, and I can have my location specified. I can have a screenshot folder, select folder, and it also asks me if I want to import this image or this frame after once it gets imported. So I would click on import into project. So okay. So if you see here, this screenshot one has been imported to our project, and even if you want like to check, then yeah, so this screenshot folder which we had created, it's there. And if you double click here, yeah, the JPEG, the frame which we had exported, the JPEG is there. And yeah, the shortcut for exporting frame would be Control Shift E on Windows and Command Shift E on Macintosh. Yeah, I just press Control Shift E and export frame is option is there, so you can adjust it, name it, and whichever format you want according to your convenience. So yeah, that was the source monitor with all the options showcased. And one option which I would like to show is in the source monitor, as I have this footage here, and what if before this frame it changes to this bridge kind of thing, and right now over here I want this footage. So what I can do is, like at this moment itself, I want this footage to be imported here, the area which has been selected. So rather than inserting here, I need to overwrite it here. So I would click on overwrite. So now if you see, this entire chunk which has been selected comes here. Let me play this. Yeah. So now there is no audio here, but this has been overwritten on this. Okay. So yeah, that was the source panel. One thing I wanted to show you more on the source panel is, suppose if you wanted to maximize the frame, suppose if you are not able to take a decision while creating any in points or on points, or like suppose this is a short screen, you're not able to take any kind of decision. So what you can do is you can come here on the source panel, you can right click here, and then you can go to panel group settings and then maximize panel group. Yeah, click here. So you get a very better view, and now you can easily create your endpoints and outpoints without any kind of trouble. And in the same way, if you want to like to minimize and come back to the normal view, then you can right click here and panel group settings, and then restore panel group size. Yeah, so it get back to you there with a normal view of the entire software interface. So now coming to the program monitor, this is our program monitor, and this would only play the videos which are there in our timeline. So this is the timing. This is again the resolution. It is the same as our source monitor. I would like to make it as fit. This is the resolution, full, half, 1/4. As I said, it depends on your system configuration and the hardware. This is the settings. The settings are the same as the source monitor, which has already been showed earlier. So yeah, there are no difference. Or rather, there are no other options or no other. Yeah, so there are no other options or any other attributes which are different from the source monitor. They both are the same. The attributes for settings, this this is the time which is showing at its end. So right now our footage is 47 seconds and 18 frames. Sorry, 24 frames. The current time it was 18, but it ends at 47 seconds and 24 frames. And as I said, plus means zoom in, minus means zoom out from the keyboard. You can do the same by scrubbing it from here. Now, for example, if you want to have a in mark here and an out mark here. So now so now one thing is there, this option of in mark and out mark, why is it there in our program monitor as well? Because it is there in our source monitor, and if we want to get that from the in point and output from our source monitor to our timeline, we do that. But why the same has been provided on our program monitor? Because this is the final timeline. These all these options which you are it has already been it's shown on our source monitor as well, but these are all the same. The answer for this is the answer for why this option has again been there in our program monitor. It is because suppose if you only want to render means taking out an output of the video from any particular sequence or timeline. So if you want to render only this portion, so what Premiere would do is while you render a video, it would only render this portion from your entire timeline. So this is actually a cool feature again in Premiere which is provided in the program monitor. Say for example, if you have created a video of around 1 minute and you want different versions of the same video, say of 15 seconds, 20 seconds and 30 seconds. So you can actually basically select the time, the in time and the out time by pressing Shift I, Shift O or I and O. For getting into the for selecting that entire video according to your preference and according to your requirements, you can make it into 15 seconds, 30 seconds and 1 minute. So you need not create a different kind of sequence if the entire video is on the same sequence. So you can just select it by uh, pressing I and O, and if you want to go to the time to the beginning, that means to the end point, you can just click here or press Shift and I. Endpoint, outpoint, Shift and O. So if this portion is selected, the video, the Premiere would render only this video, this portion which you have been selected. And now if you have selected this, but now what you have thought is no, you would like to render the entire video or like to work on the entire video, you can come here. Once the arrow is shown this, you can get your cursor to the beginning and you can get your cursor, you can just get it to the right and drag it up to here. So now this entire range has been selected and Premiere would render the entire video. I would just drag this a bit as options are not available. Yeah, this is export frame, this works same, but in order to click here, like suppose if you are clicked here and if you do Control Shift E, so what this would do is this would not export your frame from the source monitor, but it would export the frame from your program monitor. So you need to be in the timeline or you need to be in the program monitor in order to render your export frame from the program monitor or the timeline. Control Shift E, or you can click here as well. This is safe margins. This is a very important tool, or rather an option provided by Premiere in order when you are working on edits. So let me get to you to just a basic kind of film editing. I would like to maximize this panel group settings, same as source monitor. Yeah, so if you see, if I toggle this, you would see there is a boundary kind of thing. So I would like to give you this is a very important tool when you're editing films, a short film kind of thing, a serial or something like that. So what is the safe margins actually? So let me quickly draw a box here, and I would create one more smaller box than this, rather of a different color, maybe blue or something. Yeah, so this, the one in blue, is known as title safe area. The entire blue box is known as title safe area, which means suppose if you're writing down any text, so this text, any text, enter any text. Please note this is like when you are writing a text or any kind of information which you are providing, that has to be within this bounding box, like this, it has to be within this bounding box. So basically your text cannot go like this, something like this, or something like this. This is totally wrong. The best practice is it should be within your title safe area. So this blue box is your title safe area. Now coming to the black box. This black box is known as action safe area. What is this actually? Like suppose there is a character or there is any kind of speaker who is in the video, or he's doing any action, he or she is doing any action. It has to be something within this frame, the black box which is visible here, like a person. Suppose there is an interview kind of thing which is going on. So a person is there and he is speaking something, and there is some kind of, sorry, and there is some kind of hand movements or something like that. So what it has to be done is like it, this character who is speaking, or there is suppose one more character here. So this can exceed the title safe area, which is the blue line, but it cannot exceed the black line, which is the action safe area. This hand or any kind of movement can exceed or can cross the blue area, the title safe area, but it should not cross the action safe area, as it is not at all a good practice, because some margin has to be kept in the video to have a good spacing. It is also known as good spacing. Like the video shouldn't look totally a messed up kind of thing, and this character shouldn't go like this or something, because from that video the movements or any kind of action which is done can be cropped, or rather it can be removed if this kind of proposition is not mentioned in any video. So I hope this action and title safe area is clear to you, as this is a very important part in video editing. Now I would again go back to Premiere and I would go to panel group settings, restore panel group size, which would take me back to the entire user interface by minimizing this program monitor. And I would again save my project, and yeah, this was the program monitor of Premiere.
So now we will be looking towards our timeline panel. The timeline panel is basically a place which consists of different sequences, different videos, different audios, different media such as images, text, etc., which plays sequentially on its order. Right now if you see our timeline is of 47 seconds and 24 frames, which has got two video footages along with audio. And the sequence which it is playing is basic edit, as we had renamed it earlier. You can find it the same on the project panel, basic edit. So now we would look through the different options available in timeline panel. So this is the name of my sequence, and suppose by mistake, if I want to, or even deliberately, if I want to close the sequence, I would just click here, which is close. So right now what the timeline says is timeline no sequences. So it means right now there are no sequences here. And if you want to get the same sequence basic edit here, what we need to do is, it says drop media here to create sequence. So what we would do is, we would just go on our project panel where our sequence has been created earlier. We would just double click here, double left click. So I just double left clicked here and I got my same sequence here, the basic edit. So this is my video footage, and these are my video layers. We can tell them as layers. This V1, V2, V3, these are different layers. When there is a complex or when there is advanced edit, these layers are very useful. Like for right now, suppose if I want to change this layer from V1, toggle the track targeting for this track. So right now if I want this layer to go to my layer 2, that is V2, video 2, so what I would do, I would just select by my left click and would take it here, and now we would play the video. So right now if you can see that there is no sound here, the video is totally blank. Now what if I want to extend the sound from this video to the existing this video? What I would do is, as we can see here, these both are linked. The video, the first footage and our audio is linked. What I'll do is, I'll right click here and I would say unlink. So what this will do is, this would unlink these both, and now I would be able to drag this audio or stretch this audio till my end of the second clip. So I would just go here at the end and I would say till here. So now if you see, the music is there. The music is not stopping here as it was doing earlier. And suppose if I have placed my video here, what if I place it here? So what this would do is, it would automatically start from here, and the video footage or the video clip which is from this duration till this duration has been overlapped by this second footage. So I don't want this to get overlapped, and as I want this portion also to be revealed, so I would just take it to the end. And right now, as we can see, the audio is also playing. Now what if I don't want to view this layer, or suppose if there is any kind of unwanted video here which I do not want to see on the entire layer, so I can go to my V2, that is this V2, and I would toggle this track output. You can see a eye kind of icon, so you will just click here. So right now it is totally blank. Please note the audio will be there, as we have not done any kind of mute or off to the audio, so my video is not there. Now what if I want to see the video again? So I would just click here again, toggle track output. So my video is here, and I can take this till to my layer 3 also. Now what if, suppose if I have a complex edit and I want more layers? So now what I would do is, to create more layers, I would right click here and I would say add track. So if you see, we had only 1, 2 and 3 layers. Now one video track has also been created here, which also acts as a layer, video 4. So I can take this to here also, my video floor, and suppose I want, suppose this portion, so I just pressed I, and till here I want it, I would press O.
And here I would just want the video, not the audio. So what I'll do is, as I had shown earlier, also drag video only. I'll drag this video and I will place it here on my layer 3. And you can see, this is overlapping, but I don't want this overlapping thing. So I would drag it sequentially. So right now, as you can see, we have utilized 4 layers. And suppose if I want one more layer, again I would do the same thing, add track. This created one more track, V5. So I don't want this right now, it was just for your showing purpose. You can select both the tracks like this and you can take this down. So 3 of my layers are being utilized right now. And suppose if I want to delete this V4 layer or track which has been added here, so what I can do is I can select here, right click here and say delete track. So that layer 4 has been removed. Now what if I right click here and see this option add tracks. Please note that was a different option called add track, which would add one track above the layer. Now I would click here on add tracks. So a dialog box pop-up has been opened, and now you can see it is asking how many tracks you want to add. Say I want 2 video tracks to be added, and this is a very good feature. It also asks for placement after video 3, which means above video 3, after video 2, after video 1, before first track, which means below first. So I would say, for example, before first track, and we'll come to audio tracks later. I'll just say, or I'll add here 0 audio tracks. So I basically just want 1 or 2 video tracks before my first video track, and I'll click here on OK. So if you see, this footage was on our track video 1 and it has shifted to V3, which means video 3, and video 1 and 2 has been created as we had selected insert 2 video tracks below our first layer. Now what if I want to lock this video track, like the entire videos over here? I do not want anything to be changed, I want it to be as it is. So we can see this icon here of lock which says toggle track lock. So what I would do is I would click here, and as you can see, this black kind of thing, which means our layer has been locked. So now I won't be able to select this video footage or move here or change its duration or anything, or insert any video track or any kind of media on my layer video 3. I can use this, I can move this, I can do anything, but if I'm clicking it here, it is not allowing me to select this video clip. And in order to unlock this, I need to again toggle this. This has been unlocked again, and now I'm able to select, move, drag, whatever I want to do with this video on the particular layer. Now we would come to our audio panel. So if you want, you can also customize this by dragging here when this icon comes, and even if you want to expand any kind of video here, you can also do that by just going to the video layer and just dragging it up. So if you see that this particular layer on this video footage has been expanded, I don't want this, I would stick to the normal. And now I would drag this audio too much as I want to see the audio waves in depth, in details. So this audio is playing. Same coming here. It says unlock as we have seen earlier, and this one stands for mute. If we click here, it would act as the icon of the video layer. It would not play the audio, but it would play the video. So if you can see here, the video is playing, but there is no audio. I would uncheck this as I want the audio also to be played. The audio is playing here. Now I would like to add or copy the same kind of audio. Let me see if I have any. Yeah, audio here is one audio I have here. So what I would do is I would click here and I would drag it here. Yeah, here. So right now, as we can see, these both of the audio tracks are playing on audio 1 also and audio 2 also, which I don't want, as it doesn't looks nice if two audios are playing at the same time, because it is overlapping. So what right now we would do is we would unlink here the first audio. Would click here on unlink by right clicking, and I would slow its duration or decrease its duration, and I would now play the footage. It's a nice peppy audio track which is playing here. Now what I would do is I would take this to here. So right now these both would be playing at the same time. Now what if I want only the recent audio track which has been inserted on our audio track 2? I just want to play this and I do not want to play this. One option, as I have shown, is by muting this layer. Our first layer is not playing. Now both are playing. There is one more way of not muting this. What I can do here is, if you can see here, there is an icon called S, which means solo track. So what if I click here, this would play only the second track. Yeah. So basically this means all the tracks which will be inserted in maybe audio 1, audio 2, audio 3, or as many layers we have, it would only play the track which has been solo. Right now at this moment we have our audio track 2 which has been soloed, so it would only play the track which is on our audio layer 2 and not the other tracks. The other tracks will be muted. As you can see here, the track is here but it is not playing. I would just remove solo in order to show you the difference. If you notice, both the tracks are playing now. I again clicked solo here. Yeah, so both are playing. So the audio is playing perfectly fine, and I would just remove this solo. And right now, if I want to add one more audio track layer, what I do, I click here, same, and I say add track. So 1, 2, 3, and if you notice, audio track 4 has also been created. It is the same way as video as we have seen earlier. Right now I would right click here and delete the track, as I do not want this. And if I want more tracks to be added, so I would say add tracks. Video tracks, I would say add 0, as I do not want any video tracks to be added. and I would say add or two or rather three audio tracks here. After audio 3, track type would be standard, as I do not want a 5.1 or adaptive or mono kind of audio track. Yeah, so if you see, after 3, 4, 5, 6 have been created, as we had selected 3 layers to be added after video 3. So 4, 5 and 6 videos have been layers have been created. And not now what I would do is, what if you are running out of space, or if you have a kind of low monitor which is low in size or which is small in size, so you can go here and say panel group settings, maximize panel group. So now it becomes very easy if you want to work here in our timeline panel, and you can work accordingly to your preference. Yeah, as I was telling, we have got this 4, 5 and 6, these 4 layers. So now I can even move this audio track to any of my layers I want, and I can have multiple kind of audios here which can be inserted as a background music or a kind of music effect or something. If you want to add according to your edit, you can add here. Now I would delete this track, or I can say delete tracks. So it would ask me video tracks if you want to delete, or you want to delete audio tracks. I would say audio tracks, all empty tracks. So it would automatically delete all the empty tracks. So over here, apart from 4, 5, 6, we also have a track which is audio 3. So it would remove that also. And now we will click on OK. Yeah. So as we see here, we are only left with only 2 layers, audio 1 and audio 2, as all the different layers which have been deleted were empty layers. So as we have seen, our video and audio tracks, which play a very important role in our timeline, and rather they are the major elements of a timeline. Now we would come back to our timeline options back. So right now, if you can see, this is showing us in a frames format. So I don't want this. I want the same the timeline to show the timing in hours, minutes, seconds and frames format. So what I would do is, I would go to, or I would just hover my mouse over it. I would press Control on Windows and Command on Mac, and I would Control plus click here. So right now it again shows me that these are the total number of frames. So as I go on increasing, if you see here, the timing has also been changed. So it is showing the entire timeline frame based. So I would again click here, Control and click. Yeah. So right now it's showing our timeline in the time based mode, hours, minutes, seconds and frames format, which we wanted earlier. And I prefer this, as this is a standard one in order to edit. And this is a magnet kind of thing which says snap. What is exactly snap? If I click here, and if you move right now it has been unchecked. If I move here, move my footage here, it is not giving me a kind of place where I can hold down my footage where I want to connect it with. And what if I click here, snap? If you click this, if you want to move this footage, you can see exactly where you want to place your footage. Like, as you can see, it is creating a black kind of line here. This line, as you have seen, this line I'm talking of, the black line. So this will only come if snap is on, and it is very user friendly, as if the snap is not on, you might place your footage here or here. So if you want this footage to be placed at the end of your previous footage, as I want my footage to just next to this line, next where my video would end, it would end here itself. It would start from here itself. So as the snap button is on, I'm getting two kind of targets where I want to place my one is where I want to place my footage. One is here. See, a black line has been created as my snap is on, and the other is here. So I would place it here. So right now, if you see, the footage over here is not being played because our video footage has already been there in our previous layer, which is totally overlapping and hiding the video footage on our first layer. So I would uncheck this and I would say only play the video on video layer 1. So yeah, so this video on video layer 1, this video is playing right now on video layer 2, and I would again uncheck this. So now we would come to this option. This option is selecting the linking and unlinking. Now if you can see here, this video, if I click here, these both are getting highlighted. I would just uncheck here. Yeah, I'm clicking it here. So these both are getting highlighted as these both video and audio are linked together. If you want to check, you can right click, and as you see, unlink is available, which means they both are linked together. Now what if there is one more setting in our timeline, which is linked selection. Now if I click here, right now it's been highlighted, so it has been selecting both these video footage as well as the audio footage which has been linked together. And what if I click here? So I just unchecked here, and right now you can see it's not been highlighted or it's not in blue. And if I click here, it would only select the video layer and not the audio layer, which doesn't means that these both layers are not linked together. Again, if I want to check, I would right click. The unlink option is not there because these videos, the video and the audio has been linked together, but as the option has been unchecked, so I won't be able to link or unlink I would not be able to link or unlink both of the video and the audio track. So I would say no, I would want to link. And coming back here, if I click here, so right now these both videos and audios are getting selected by selecting this layer only, as these both of the video and the audio layers are linked. Yeah, so now if I click unlink, these both will get unlinked. Now we would come to markers. Like there is a sequence, suppose there is a time, I would just take this, I would just unlink here, and I would just take this to here, and I would relink this. And suppose if you want any kind of time, like you want to key at this time text would appear or any kind of effect would appear, so what you can do is you can set your marker, suppose at 16. I do not want this track to be played, so I would click here on mute. So here I would suppose I want here just after this next frame, when another frame comes, I want a kind of text which can, or kind of effect which can be appeared. So you can go to the next frame by your right arrow and previous frame to the left arrow. So I would just press 2-3 times my right arrow and I would click add marker. The shortcut for adding marker is M. Markers are very useful. You can place wherever you want according to your preference. If you want any kind of media to be inserted or any kind of time which you want to record it for your preference according to your edit. So yeah, if you can see here, a marker has been created, and even if you see on our program monitor, marker has also been created. It's the same marker as shown earlier in our source panel, and these are the different options and the same options as there on our source program explained earlier. Now coming to this timeline display settings, we would click here. These are the different settings if one user wants to customize its timeline. Like it says show video thumbnails, show video names. What if I click here, show video names? If you see, all our names on the footage on our video clip has been disappeared. I again want them back. I just click show display, show video names, show audio waveform, as it is showing here the audio waveform. If we uncheck here, it won't show. Now again I want to show it. Again, show audio names is the same as video. And these are the different kind of very basic options which are available. So yeah, this was our timeline panel, and with the different settings and different attributes provided. So now coming to our audio meters. So this is basically the audio which has been there in your timeline. It would display the audio according to various decibels, if you can see here, according to its sound. So we would just play this. Right now, as you had seen, that this thing while playing the video, it became red. So which it means that this red thing means clipping. It is called as clipping of audio. So this is not a good practice when you are demonstrating your video somewhere live or any kind of event or something, because it means that the video which can be played might burst out, and burst out in the sense like it would create a kind of very high volume thing and a kind of disturbance to the audience. So we would click here, and what we can do in order to get rid of that, we have to see that while playing the video, the audio does not reaches up to here. It is the red mark which would create clipping of the audio. So in order to get rid of this, we can slightly reduce our gain. Audio gain is basically the level of audio, and we would right click here and we would say audio gain. Click here on audio gain, and we would say adjust gain by -3 decibels, and click here OK. So right now, if you see, volume has also been decreased of the audio as we have reduced the gain, the total overall level of an audio. And now right now, if you see, it is just on an average of a -6 kind of decibel, and it is not creating that red clip anymore. And these are the various levels of the decibel, and the S here stands for solo. These are the two channels, mainly left and right. This one is the left channel and this one is the right channel of an audio track. So what if I want to play only my left channel of the audio track? I would click here, solo left channel. This would only play the left channel of your audio, and only this audio meter would be displaying. And now what if I want to do the reverse? I would select solo right channel and I would deselect solo left channel. So this would now only play the audio on the right channel and not the left. And now I would select both the channels, as I want both the channels to be playing. And now it's playing both the channels, the left as well as the right. If you want to view your audio meters on a very maximized view, you can just right click here, the same panel group settings, and maximize panel group. So this entire thing will show on a very big resolution, and it would cover the entire workspace. Now only the left channel is playing, and now the right. It's not creating that red clipping. Now if I want to minimize this, I would say minimize, right click on the tools panel. I would right click here, and I would say panel group settings, restore panel group size. Yeah, so this was our audio meter. Now we would see the tools panel. So this is our tools panel. It has got many various tools. So let me quickly create a sequence, a new sequence. I would prefer shortcut Control N for new sequence, and I would say HDV 20p 30, and I would rename this sequence name to tools panel. I go to settings, stuff, this thing being okay, and I would quickly select OK, and then I would like to insert one more video. I would do Control I, and I would give the location, and say, for example, I would like to have this video. I would double click here, and I would select, come to a timing from where I want on my source monitor. I would press I, say for suppose from here till here. Yeah, I want this, and I only want the audio. I only want the video. So I would drag it over here. The clip doesn't match the sequence settings. Change the sequence setting to match the clip settings. Now what is this? This is a clip mismatch warning, which means our clip is not according to the settings of our timeline. I will select here cancel, and I would go here. As you can see, our tools panel, this sequence is of 29.97 fps, and our video footage is of 23.976 fps. So I would delete this from here as of now. And what if I want this video footage to be of my timeline? So what I would do is I would go here, and I would right click here, and I would say interpret footage, modify interpret footage, and as right now the selected frame rate is use frame rate from file 23.976. As I do not want this, I would say assume this frame rate, and I would put this as my same sequence settings, 29.797 fps. The rest remains the same, and I would say okay. So now if you see here from 23, it has changed to 29.97 fps. Now if I drag the selected video from my source monitor to timeline, it again says change sequence to match the clip settings. We would click on existing, keep existing settings. This is because of the reason, if you right click here and if you see its properties, the image size is of 854 into 540, but the image size means the video footage size of this snail video is of 854 into 480. But if you see our tools panel, right click here, and if I say properties, it is tools panel 1280 into 720. So this is one more reason where our video footage is not matching with our timeline. So what we need to do here is, in order to make this, if you see here, a black space is also there, as our video footage is less than our sequence settings. So what you can do is, you can right click here and say scale to frame size. You can see this option, scale to frame size. Click here. So now what it does is, it captures the entire sequence, that is 1280-720. Please note, it does not scales distortedly, it scales proportionately. And as our ratio was 16:9, and our video footage, video source footage was also into 16:9 with 1.0 square pixels, so it has not been distorted. It is just that it has scaled to accordingly. It has scaled frame its video frame size according to our sequence setting. And now I would again go to this, our first one, the first video footage. Rather, let me go to this. Yeah, this one looks fine. I suppose I want this kind of this tree thing. I would want this from here. I would quickly press I on the source monitor. Till here, and I would press O, and I would say drag video only and take this to my timeline. So right now, if you see, our entire timeline is of, I would reduce this down to 24 by dragging it from the left, and I would press O here. So this is basically the range of my timeline. This is I, which means the endpoint, and this is the outpoint. So right now my timeline is of 24 seconds. Okay, so now we'll be looking towards the tools panel in Adobe Premiere, and the first and the most important tool in Adobe Premiere would be the razor tool, which is a very helpful tool and a very important tool for while editing the videos. And it is a tool which has been widely used, and this is the razor tool. The shortcut for this is C. You click here, and this tool basically cuts a video footage or any kind of other medias as audio, video, or any kind of image. And you would see its utility right now. I'm playing the footage. There is no audio in this, as I just want to demonstrate the tools. So what I want is, like, after this thing I want to cut, and I would, if you see this icon is there, a razor kind of icon, and I would click here. So what it did is, it basically created a cut here. So now I will be able to interpret my video clips here, and if I select this and if I move here, so that entire video chunk which we had created, now it has been splitted into two, and this space becomes empty. And suppose if in this space I want to insert some other clip, so suppose I want to insert this, I would press I here, and O here, and I would take this to my drag video only to my timeline, and I would remove its duration by going to the end of the clip and taking it to the left, so that the duration is matching with the space which has been created. So right now, if you see the video, I'll play this. So if you see this, the gap which has been created has been filled now by another video footage. Suppose I want a cut here, I would just click here and a cut is created. You can see this line, and suppose I don't want this. Suppose I just after this nail thing, I don't want this chunk. So what I can do is I can uh, like this, as this is selected, if I click here again this videos will be splitted into many. So I won't do that. I'm doing undo right now. The shortcut for that is Control Z, and what I would do is, as this chunk I don't want, I want my video to, after this video it should start with this video, this, yeah. So what I would do is I would again go back to my select tool. The shortcut for this is V, selection tool, and I would select here and I would press delete from my keyboard, and I would like to join. I don't want any kind of insertion in between, so I would like to join this. So I would take this footage and I would see this, as my snap is on, it is creating a black kind of line, and I would select here and then I would say play. So if you notice, that point has been disappeared. Yeah, the video which was there has gone away, and our videos is starting from the place which we have selected. So yeah, this if I come back to this track selection tool, it helps me selecting the tracks, and it is just for selecting purpose. Like by default, if you open Premiere, the default tool which is there is this selection tool. Now coming to the next tool, that is track select forward tool. The shortcut for this is A. I would select this. Now what it does, like if you see there are double arrows, it means it would select all the footages from where I have selected. In order to move, if you want to move an entire chunk of videos where there is a large complicated edit, so it basically selects all the, I would just show you once again, it basically selects all the medias in your timeline. I would just do one more thing, I would just create the import audio also for your reference. Yeah. Yeah, now coming back to this, if I deselect everything, and for deselecting, like if everything is selected, you need to go to selection tool and click here like this, just drag, and now going back to this track select forward tool, I selected this. Now if I select this, everything has been selected from forward, and I'm able to move it like this in the end throughout the entire timeline. Now what if I don't want only the portion which is there, I want it from this, I want the entire thing from this point. So what I would again select this and I would select here. So if you see, the video clips and the audio which has been highlighted or selected is this, this and this, as our cursor was placed here and not here. So this track forward would only take the video clips and the media which is there from the cursor, from its where the cursor is placed, and these both are not selected. Now what if again I deselect this and I select from here, so only this clip is selected, the other remains as it is, and I'm only able to move this video clips and the others are on stand. there is no change in them as they have not been highlighted. Now again coming back to this track select backward tool. This is a tool, it is an opposite of the track forward tool. It would select all the tracks from backward. If I select here, it deselected this. If I select here, it deselected this. If I select here, it deselected this, and now I'll be able to move only this clip as nothing else was selected. Again going back here, if I select this, it would only select this and not the previous video clip. Yeah, so these both are track select and track select forward and track select backward tool. A and shift A are the shift A is a shortcut for track backwards and A is the shortcut for track select forward. So now we would see the ripple edit tool. The shortcut for this is B. And what does ripple edit tool basically does? Ripple edit tool basically adjusts the edit and it compensates the video clip accordingly to the timeline. So if you select this, we have seen here the kind of yellow kind of out mark and yellow kind of in mark during the end and at the beginning of the video clip. What if I'm dragging it to the right? If you see here on our program monitor, the timing of the video clip from the Portland, the first one, is getting increased, and the video clip on the right, which is the snail one, it is not affecting. So it is basically manipulating the timing of Portland, and right now we have reduced the timing. So as you can see, our timeline has also been affected. Earlier our timeline was of 24 seconds and now it has been reduced to 23 and 13 frames, 23 seconds and 13 frames. So it basically interprets the footage and it has reduced the duration of this by also adjusting the time of the entire sequence, and it has also affected the timeline. And what if I drag this? Will my timeline be extended from 24 and will it increase? I guess yes, as we are increasing the video. So yes, we have done, and our timeline has increased from 24 to 25, which means this video footage will now be played for a long time as we have increased the total duration of this footage. Yeah, so our timeline time has been affected and it is affecting the entire timeline by increasing the footage or by decreasing the footage. Uh, Let us reduce this nail footage here, and if you see, I've reduced this almost to 50% by dragging it to the left, and yeah, our timeline is getting affected as it has reduced the time from 24 to 21 seconds and 27 frames. Almost 3 seconds it has been reduced. So yeah, this was the ripple edit tool, which also manipulates the timing of the footage as well as the timeline. I would now do Control Z as I want my video footage to be exactly of 24 seconds, as we'll be now going to the next tool, that is rolling edit tool. The shortcut for this is N. I will select this and now this has been highlighted. So I have selected here, and now what I would do is, suppose I want this nail to be just say come for just a few frames. So what I will do is I would just select this, just take it to the right, as I want my video Portland, Oregon, this video footage to run for a long time. So I would just take it extreme, and I would just maybe for 3 or 4 seconds I would like to play this nail video. So now if you see, I have dragged it through my rolling edit tool and it has come for a longer duration, but my timeline has not been affected here. So this is again a really very good tool where if you are when you are very much bound with your timings and where you are very much particular about your timings, like a video should end in 30 seconds or it should be a 1 minute or 5 minute. So this is really a very cool tool, and it has increased the duration of this clip without affecting any other clips and without affecting the last clip and without affecting the entire timeline. So basically, if you see this rolling edit tool, it basically interprets a footage, like it increases the duration or decreases the duration by affecting the next clip or the previous clip to its sequence in the timeline without affecting the entire time of a timeline. Whereas if you come to this tool back, ripple edit tool, it used to manipulate the video clips, but it did not use to affect the timing and the duration of the other clips linked to it. But it used to interpret the entire timing of the timeline. So yeah, these both were the ripple edit tool and the rolling edit tool. And now we would come to rate stretch tool. The shortcut for this is R. This is again a very useful tool, I would say. Now say suppose for this tool, it is approximately taking around 12 seconds, as it starts from 12 and it ends up to 24. And what I want is, instead of 24, on I want it to end on say around 17. Yeah, 17. So but I want the video clips, the footage. I do not want the duration to come. I don't want the duration to be shortened, but I want. So yeah, now as I've selected my rate stretch tool, what this tool does is it would reduce the duration along with its speed to be increased. So as I said earlier, I want this to be on 17, this entire video chunk. So all my clips would be covered, but the speed would increased as it would finish it up in at 17. Now let's have a look. So as you have seen, this is a tool which increases or decreases the speed of a particular video. As you have seen, the video was taking time to play here, as the original was this one. And it was playing a very smooth and a very soft kind of movement. But now if you see this, it is a very fast movement. It is a very very fast movement. Suppose if there are any particular kind of shots which has been shooted by you, and if you want its duration to be increased, and it's a very kind of boring shot or something, or it's a very kind of slow shot which you want it to be more fast or something, so you can just use this rate stretch tool. Now same, I would show the same thing of the snail. Suppose if I want to increase the decrease the speed, so I need to increase the duration. I would go to my rate stretch tool and I would, yeah, see now, right now I'm, if I want to extend it to my rate stretch tool, it is not being extended. I'm not able to do it because right now there is no empty space available. So what I need to do is I need to shift my last clip to a bit right, and now rate stretch tool would allow me to stretch the tool, and the entire movement of the video would be slow here. So if you see, the movement of this video clip is slow and the duration has increased, and this is possible through the rate stretch tool. Now coming back to this, this has already been demonstrated earlier. This is a razor tool which would provide cut. Yeah, that's it. So now we would see slip tool. The shortcut for this is Y. So if you see, basically the slip tool, what it does is it basically changes the in and out point of the clip without affecting the timeline. So we would see, what if I drag this to my right. If I'm dragging this, if you see the first frame on the top right corner of the program monitor, the the timing is unaffected there. If you see the below frames on the left and the right, the timings are, the in and the out points are getting affected. So if you see, I don't want the frame on the left side, the red kind of thing, and this thing. So I want basically my video to start from this frame, the golden one on the left one. So if you see, my footage has been interpreted, and it has been starting from this point. So basically my endpoint has been changed. So if you have noticed, there was a short green kind of thing and all, if you have noticed, so that has been removed away as this video clip is being placed before this, and it is been playing. And the beginning of the frame, like the shot before this, is now been playing, the one in golden thing. And if you see the portion which it was, where there were some walls and there was some graffiti on the walls and the paintings and all, it has been omitted, as we have interpreted our in and out points by dragging it. And if you see, our timeline has also been not affected. It stays to 24. Now what if I want some changes on this clip? What I do is I take this to the left, and my in point has again been affected with my timeline being the same. So basically what it does is it interprets the in and the out points of a clip by, if you want if you want any particular clip to be started from a particular timing or from a particular shot, so you can just scrub it and just shift it to your left or right, anywhere you want, and the video clip would play from there without the timeline getting affected. So now we would come to slide tool. What slide tool does is, slide tool basically moves a clip back and forth in the timeline by simultaneously adjusting other clips to compensate. So let's have a look. So my slide tool is being selected right now, and if you see the out point of this video, it ends here and this nail video comes in. So what if I drag this to the left, and no, I'm not able to do that. Yeah, so let us use this tool, and I'm taking this tool on my left. So what happened is, the frames on this video got overlapped through this nail, and this video footage has also been revealed, as earlier it was this. So basically it is not affecting our timeline, though it is affecting our clip. So if you see this, I have taken it to the top, to extreme left. Let me take to a bit more. Now let's have a look at the clip. So if you see, there was a shot, I'm talking of this shot. This shot is not there in our timeline anymore, as we have adjusted this clip through this slide tool, and we are revealing the most of this video footage which is not again affecting our timeline, but it is affecting the adjacent clips placed on the in point and the out point and nearby the videos. Now we would see pen tool. Just select the tool here and select this pen tool. The shortcut for this is P. This is basically for animating your audio points, your audio. Right now we do not want this video layer, as it is, as this pen tool is only applicable on audios. It would basically animate the volume of your audio. So let's have a, if you go here, nothing happens. If you select the video, then this thing select the videos, but there won't be any kind of operation if you move this. So go to your audio, and if you come down at the middle of this, if you see, you'll see a plus icon here, as it's showing me here. So I would say click here, and it has created a keyframe. Let us on this. So I want, like, when it comes down to here, I would add one more keyframe here, and at this point of time I would create a keyframe here, and I want this keyframe to not at the same level, but I want it to be reduced. So what I would do is I would select here, and I would take this down a bit down. You can see the values also in minus, it is going in minus decibel. So yeah, now let us hear the music. Suppose at this point I wanted more down, so I would create a point and I would create more down. So now totally this volume has gone. So again at this point I would want at it at a normal level or a bit high level. Let's have a look at the entire audio. Yeah, so it is animating, and yeah, so this was the pen tool. This is the hand tool, stands for H. Shortcut is, this is basically when your timeline is zoomed out, when you click it and when you move it, you drag it to your left or maybe your right, it gives a scrolling kind of effect to your view. You can scroll it, you can scroll it and you can view it, rather than doing like this or rather like this. But I personally prefer like zoom in by plus sign on your keyboard and zoom out by minus sign, or you can do it from here. It's pretty user friendly. And this is the last tool, it's called zoom tool. The shortcut for this is Z. If you click on a particular timing, it zooms in. Like I've clicked here and it is getting me zoomed here, and this is going zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. And what if I want to zoom out? Then I need to press Alt on the keyboard, a minus sign would come and have to click. So click, 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 and yeah, this would give me an overall view of my timeline. Yeah, so these were the tools basically of the tools panel provided in Premiere. So right now I would like you to take through the entire course in a nutshell, which we have gone through the various processes, starting from the basic editing, starting from the basic different frame sizes, different frame attributes, video properties and all. So let us go through all that in a nutshell. Yeah, so these are the standard frame sizes of a video: 480, 360, 720, 576, 960, 540, 1280, 720, and 1920, 1080. These are the different FPS, frames per second, of a video: 23.97, 24, 25, 30. These are the different pixel aspect, 4:3, 16:9, which is widescreen. These are the different broadcasting standards in a video: NTSC and PAL. These are the standard audio channels: mono, stereo, and 5.1. This is the interface or the graphic user interface of Adobe Premiere Pro. First one is the project panel. This one is the source monitor. This one is the program monitor. This is the timeline panel. This is our audio meter, and this is our tools panel. These are our tools, the different tools: selection tool, track select tool, ripple edit tool, rolling edit tool, rate stretch tool, razor tool, slip tool, slide tool, pen tool, hand tool, and the last, zoom tool. A summary has also been prepared for you guys. Frame sizes, frames per second, pixel aspect ratio, scan line, audio settings, channel sample rate, creating a new project in Adobe Premiere Pro, overview of the various project preset settings, customizing your own preset and saving it, introducing the GUI of Adobe Premiere Pro. So these are basically the different areas which have been covered and the different points which have been covered in our video. We have also learned importing clips, organizing them, working with the project panel, working with the source monitor, creating in and out points, working with clips and markers, action and save zone, title save zone, working with program monitor, working with timeline, working with audio meter, and at last working with tools panel. Thank you.